Today I got time, cuz.
All right, I'm back. This is Joey One Shinobi, and I'm here to do another reaction to yet what I think is going to be a bomb movie called Napoleon. So without further ado, let's get into this trailer. Let's go. Apple?
No doubt you'll send the chaos.
Apple stepping up.
We must make an example, or France will fall. What would you do with this assignment?
They put a woman in the guillotine. I ain't surprised. Dang, they shoot cannons at homeless people. Napoleon was heartless.
Everyone around is
What is
Ridley
this
Scott.
costume you have on?
This is my uniform.
everyone so near.
I led the French victory at Toulon.
What is your name?
Napoleon.
Has the course of my life just changed? Napoleon.
I'm destined for greatness. But those in power will only see me as a sword.
I suggest you take the throne as a king.
Not just king, emperor.
Shall we vote?
This Vernon has held the world hostage with his egotism and his lack of simple good manners.
You think you're great. You are just a tiny little brute that is nothing without me.
All of Europe is uniting forces against me.
What's the outcome of this if you don't succeed?
Your Majesty, we are discovered.
Good. I'm the first to admit when I make a mistake. I simply never do.
Oh, wow. First of all, that's an awesome trailer. And the soundtrack on this trailer is dope as I don't know what either. I think this is going to be a good movie. And the reason I say that is because of who they have starring in the film. We got Joaquin Phoenix, the little brother of River Phoenix. Some of you probably don't remember River Phoenix. I do. He was an up-and-coming actor in the 80s. He ended up unaliving himself for whatever reason. But he was on his way to being one of the premier actors in Hollywood. But it looks like his younger brother has taken the torch and ran with it. As you know, in 2019, he played Joker, a DC character. I love that film because, like, when you see Joaquin in that role, he's totally into this character. And I know method acting, all that good stuff. But to play somebody who's totally detached from reality, and then to realize none of that stuff was really happening, and then to go back into his psychosis and become crazy, well, they're going to follow that up with another Joker movie next year called Fale Adu. And I'm thinking that Harley Quinn is going to be in this movie. This is probably going to be a tour de force performance. Phoenix from Gladiator, he played a Caesar, a false Caesar, but a Caesar nonetheless. He was in another movie, Her, that I really liked, about an AI system that he's fallen in love with. Should check it out. But he also did another biopic, Walk the Line, which was the Johnny Cash biopic, which I think was a good movie as well. But the film also stars Vanessa Kirby. Vanessa Kirby right now, she's on the screen. She's playing the White Widow in the Mission Impossible franchise. I actually checked that movie out yesterday with my sister, and it's a pretty good movie. And I like Vanessa Kirby's acting. But to get into the characters of this movie, because this is going to be a history lesson too. Vanessa Kirby's playing Marie Louise, who was the second wife of Napoleon I. That was Napoleon's official name. It says she was the great niece of Queen Marie Antoinette. You know, the one who like let them eat cake. She wasn't even trying to take care of her people. She was a tyrant too. Who was the daughter of Francis II, emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. It's funny how they place all these titles on people. This is hilarious. However, just thinking about this trailer, and I'm gonna get into the history in a little bit. Looking at this trailer, I like how Napoleon says, I think that the people in charge only look at me as a sword. He thought of himself as more than just a weapon for those in power. He had aspirations to be more, as we know he did in history. But upon researching Napoleon Bonaparte, found out he was only 5'7". And I know people talk about a little man syndrome. People who are smaller, men in particular, feel like they have to walk and kind of project themselves more because they're looked at as peons. Oh, you're little. You know, even today, most women say, I want a man who's at least 6 feet tall. You know, the taller, the better, because they feel like protection comes from that man. However, Napoleon was only 5'7". And I'm pretty sure he had a lot of heads of 6 foot some odd men. He was just, in general, a badass. In general, no pun intended. But he became more than a general. As we know, he became a king and an emperor. Even the trailer brings out how he was a lover and a tyrant and a lover. I love how a person can encompass all these hats, all these traits. I won't say personalities, but character traits. You know what I'm saying? But one of the movie posters says he came from nothing and he conquered everything. And I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. But one of the things I picked up on in the trailer was when the French army was in Egypt. And for a long time, I know it was taught to me when I was younger that it was Napoleon that shot the noses off of the Sphinx. However, doing some research, and this could mean something and it could mean nothing, and I'll just read it. It says, it is uncertain why the Sphinx nose was broken off. According to a popular myth, the Sphinx nose was broken by cannonballs fired by Napoleon Bonaparte's army during the battles of the French campaign in Egypt in 1798. I'm sorry. However, this is refuted by several sources predating the birth of Napoleon. His army of painters and engravers produced fascinating images, and in all of them, the Sphinx had already lost their nose. It says, we have really to say to everyone that Napoleon Bonaparte has nothing to do with destroying the Sphinx nose, as people say. Now, we can take that at face value, but one thing I know a lot of the times is to the victor goes the spoils, and whoever wins these wars are able to say what happened and what didn't happen. That's just a fact of life. However, upon doing a little bit more research, come to find out what was going on when Napoleon was in Egypt. It says on July 1st, 1798, Napoleon and his family traveled to the Middle East to undermine Great Britain's empire by occupying Egypt and disrupting English trade routes to India. But his military campaign proved disastrous. On August 1st, 1798, just 1 month later, Admiral Horatio Nelson's fleet decimated Napoleon's forces in the Battle of the Nile. Napoleon's image and that of France were greatly harmed by the loss, and in a show of newfound confidence against the commander, Britain, Austria, Russia, and Turkey formed a new coalition against France. So maybe he didn't shoot off the noses of the Sphinx, but somebody shot him off, because we know them noses looked like mine, like my nose. And a lot of other melanin-rich people. So as we can see from the poster that says he came from nothing and he conquered everything. Well, not quite everything, because it looks like Britain, Austria, Russia, and Turkey had something to say about that. But I also want to talk about the fact that France tried to conquer Haiti, and they lost that battle too. It says Haiti became an independent nation when enslaved blacks defeated Napoleon. The Haitian Revolution is a defining moment in Black history when the small group of Haitian freedom fighters defeated Napoleon. This colossal victory shifted the world's scales from Europe's colonial rule to Haiti's Black power and dominance. And I'll be honest with you, I think because of that defeat, that's why Haiti still doesn't get the help that it so often needs, because of the earthquakes and the storms that decimate that island. You know, it's one thing when Caucasians are defeating Caucasians, but it's another thing when melanin-rich people are defeating what would be a superior army, because Napoleon's forces were superior. But they came into another man's house. And Toussaint was the man who led that Haitian army against Napoleon's forces. And they whooped the snot and the dog poop out of those French forces. Toussaint was a force to be reckoned with. It got to a point, it says in January 1802, an invasion force ordered by Napoleon landed on Saint-Domingue, and after several months of furious fighting, Toussaint agreed to a ceasefire. He retired to his plantation, but in 1803 was arrested and taken to a dungeon in the French Alps, where he was tortured and died in April. So I can't say Toussaint didn't have any fight left in him, but sometimes when you leave an enemy left or with any life in them, they will come back and bite you. But that's all ancient history now. There's still lessons to be learned. Looking at this trailer, looks like it's going to be an awesome film. I hope they touch on the Haiti Revolution in this film. It might not come until towards the end, just to make mention of it. I know Tariq Nasheed has a pretty cool film out about the Haiti Revolution. It's called 1804. Check out Tariq Nasheed's film. I've seen it. It's a pretty good film, but I would like for them to make mention of this in this film. And who's to say? You know, it's a Ridley Scott film. I love Ridley Scott's movies. Alien, American Gangster. You know, this guy has had a lot of films. Blade Runner, a lot of films that I really like. Sci-fi, you know, just urban American history. And so it's going to be a cool movie to look at, I do think. I'm checking out the soundtrack, looking at the images. I'm going to be there. Thanksgiving, you know, we haven't had a robust movie season, but I think people might come out for this one, considering the cast. And, you know, Joaquin Phoenix, he has a good resume behind him. So I'm going to be there. Hopefully you're there. Tell me what you think of the trailer. Like, comment, subscribe. Jovi out.
Today I got time, cuz.